In this video, we're going to talk about one of the most familiar and beloved fruits in the world, the apple, and of course, the incredible tree it comes from. Now, you might see them every day, but their story is absolutely packed with fascinating science, ancient history, and global significance. So let's peel back the layers on the story of the apple tree. Here's what we're going to cover. We'll start by just meeting the apple tree, its basic biology. Then we'll journey through its rich history. After that, we'll get into the fruit itself and its challenges. And finally, we'll explore its huge impact on our world. So first up, let's get acquainted with the apple tree itself. We're going to look at what really defines it, from its roots all the way up to its leaves. Okay, right away, one of the most striking differences is the height. A wild apple tree can tower up to 15 meters. That's nearly 50 feet tall. But the ones you see in orchards, they're kept much, much shorter, usually under 5 meters, which makes picking the apples way easier. But no matter the size, they all have those simple oval leaves and those beautiful 5-petaled spring flowers. The white ones with just a blush of pink, which eventually become the fruit we all know and love. So why the big difference in size and fruit? Well, it all comes down to human influence. The wild ancestor, Malus diaversi, it just grows naturally from a seed. That's why you get those super tall trees with smaller, tartar fruit. The domestic apple, Malus domestica on the other hand, is a product of some really clever horticulture. Growers use special rootstocks to control the tree's size, and grafting to make sure every single new tree produces the exact same large, sweet fruit as its parent. Now that we know the tree, let's dive into its incredible journey through time. It's really a global story. The apple story starts thousands and thousands of years ago, way up in the mountains of Central Asia. From there, it traveled west along the Silk Road into Europe. Legend even has it that Alexander the Great was fascinated by them. Fast forward to the 17th century, and it crosses the Atlantic to North America with European colonists. And then, way more recently, in 2010, science gave us a complete map of its DNA, opening up a whole new chapter in the apple's long history. Okay, so how do we get thousands of different kinds of apples that are always consistent if they don't grow true from seed? The answer is this amazing ancient technique called grafting. What growers do is take a cutting, they call it a scion, from a tree with delicious fruit, like a Honeycrisp, and they attach it to a really hardy root system, the rootstock. This whole method basically just clones the parent tree, guaranteeing the fruit will be a perfect Honeycrisp every single time. Pretty cool, right? But of course, before you get any fruit, you've got to have flowers. Now here's the thing. Apple trees are self-incompatible. That's just a fancy way of saying a flower can't pollinate itself. It needs pollen from a different apple variety. And that's where pollinators, like honeybees, are absolutely crucial. They're the essential matchmakers of the apple world, buzzing from tree to tree, carrying pollen, which lets the flowers develop into fruit by the fall. Next up, let's talk about the incredible variety of fruit itself, and also some of the natural challenges and, vulnerability that apple trees have to deal with out in the orchard. Just think about this for a second. The sheer diversity is mind-blowing. There are over 7,500 known apple cultivars, or varieties, in the world. From the tart Granny Smith to the super sweet Fuji, this incredible variety is a testament to thousands of years of human cultivation. And all those thousands of varieties, well, they all serve different purposes. A lot of them are grown as dessert apples, which just means they're great for eating fresh. Others are cultivated specifically for cooking and baking, usually because they have a tartness that holds up really well with sugar. And then you've got cider apples. A lot of these are actually too bitter to eat raw, but they are the absolute key to giving ciders that rich, complex flavor. But growing that perfect apple is not easy. The trees have a ton of natural enemies. They're vulnerable to fungal diseases like apple scab and bacterial ones like fire blight. And then there are the insect pests, everything from aphids to cobbling moths, which can totally ruin a crop. Even bitter animals like mice and deer can be a threat, especially to young trees because they like to chew on the bark. Alright, finally, let's zoom out of it and look at the apple's enormous impact on our world, from the global economy all the way to our shared culture and folklore. The scale of modern apple production is just staggering. In 2023, the world grew nearly 100 million tons of apples. And just look at China's role in this. It produces almost half of the world's entire supply. It completely dwarfs all other countries. Of course, the apple isn't just a food. It's so ingrained in our culture that it's part of how we talk about health. And this famous saying, it's not some modern invention. This piece of advice can actually be traced all the way back to Wales in the 1800s. In across different cultures, the apple has held deep symbolic meaning for centuries. I mean, in Norse myths, there were the fruit of eternal youth. In Greek mythology, a single golden apple sparked the entire Trojan War. It's often seen as the symbol of temptation in Christian tradition. And in China, because of the similarity in how it sounds, it's a beautiful symbol of peace. So, to wrap up, here are just a few more fascinating apple facts you might not know. First, the apple tree is actually a member of the rose family. We've mentioned that a seed-grown apple is a total genetic surprise, and the famous Granny Smith apple was exactly that, a happy accident from a random seedling in Australia. An average apple has about 130 calories. And finally, yes, the seeds do contain a cyanide compound. But don't worry, you would have to eat an absolutely enormous number of them for it to be harmful. So, from its origins way over in Asia to its symbolic role in myths and its place in our kitchens, the apple is so much more than just a simple fruit. It's a product of nature and human cleverness, a global commodity, and a powerful cultural symbol. It really makes you think about the incredible story that's packed into something so wonderfully ordinary. Alright, that is it for this video, everyone. Thank you for watching. Please make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel, and I'll see you in the next video.